Hi there, lovely people. You've got Sammy here. Welcome back to Beyond the Cowl. Unit 1, week 22, we're going to be doing the cross stitch. I'm going to be doing this as a standalone, but of course notifying you of any changes you need to make to incorporate this into your blanket. Now, as a standalone stitch, this pattern calls for multiples of 10 plus 2. So I've done a chain of 20 plus 2 stitches, which will give us 21 stitches across. If you're adding into your blanket, we need to add in 1 extra stitch. So when you do your row of single crochet, to check that your stitch count is the same, you're going to add an extra single crochet in. It doesn't matter where, somewhere in the middle will be less noticeable. And then when we do our stitch for next week, we'll be decreasing it by doing a 2 single crochet together on our row of single crochet before we start the stitch. So it won't be noticeable with regard to wavy edge or anything like that. Your stitch count will remain the same after this. We just need an extra stitch somewhere in that row of single crochet to make this pattern fit properly. Now, when you're doing your row of single crochet, you want your right side of your project facing you. The first row, whether you're doing a standalone or working into your blanket, is a row of half double crochet all the way across. So work your chain, half double crochet into the third chain from the hook. You're going to want 21 stitches at the end of that first row. Otherwise, working into your blanket, chain 2 and then half double crochet all the way across. So you'll be looking at the back of your project, turning it ready for our second row. Now row 2 is a row of single crochet. I've already done my half doubles, you can see there. But this row of single crochet is worked into the middle loop of each half double crochet from the previous row. So where we'd normally be working through the, just going to do chain 1 to turn, where we'd normally be working through the top of our stitch here, we're going to be working into that middle loop. Okay. It's a bit tricky to see on the first one. But you can see that middle loop sitting across our work. We're working a single crochet into each one. So not through the top as we normally would, through that middle loop. And just a single crochet into each middle loop of the half double crochet from the previous row all the way across. So I'll let you guys work that row of single crochet. So working into your blanket, row 1, I think I just said row 1, you're looking at the wrong side, but row 1, that row of half double crochet, you are looking at the right side of your blanket. So sorry, if you've already done your row of single crochet, add another one and do your half doubles. This row of single crochet, our second row, you will be looking at the back of your project. So apologies if I misspoke earlier. All right, I'll let you guys work that row of single crochet into the middle loop of the previous row's half double crochet. I'll meet you back here for row 3. Okay, we're back. You can see working in the third loop of those half double crochet has given us a nice flat chained ridge across our work. Now we're ready for row 3. So we're chaining 5, 3, 4, 5. Skipping 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're working a treble. I'm just going to check I'm calling it the right name. Yeah, a triple treble. Tongue twister into the 6th stitch. So we're going to yarn over 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holding them on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going into the 6th stitch, we just yarn over and work through 2 loops at a time. Yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through 2, yarn over, through the last 2, and there is our triple treble. We're going to do that 4 times, 3, 4, so 1 into the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Two, 3, 4. Gorgeous big stitches that do work up really quickly once you're used to doing the triple treble. 4, 5. Okay, so we've done 4 of them. We're going to chain 1. We're going to triple treble in each of the first 4 skip stitches, working in front of the stitches we just worked. So 1, 2, 3, 4, going back to the very first stitch that we skipped, just folding our work like that, making sure we're working in front of those trebles. So you would have seen I had my yarn caught behind. I'm keeping that in front as well. Working our triple treble off 2 loops at a time. And we're going to do that 4 times. So 3, 4. The next one will be worked into the next stitch that we skipped. So you can see I'm sort of just grabbing those skip stitches, pulling them forward. As we work off each triple treble, our work will flatten out again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just sort of grabbing into that hole to get those mixed stitches. Now we skipped 5, so the very last one closest to that first set of triple trebles we worked is going to remain empty. And our last one. Okay, so we've worked the 4 we skipped. They're sitting in front of the first 4 that we did. They look a bit of a tangle at the moment. I assure you they will flatten out. So we're chaining 1, and then we're repeating that pattern all the way across. So from here, we want a miss stitch between our trebles, so we're going to skip 6, and then as we work back, we're going to leave that first one empty and work in the middle 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're skipping 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 into the 7th. We're going to work those 4 triple trebles, chain 1, and then work back into the ones we missed. As I said, leaving that first one empty and the last one empty, so working them into the middle 4. I'm going to let you guys repeat that pattern all the way across. Finishing off, you'll be doing a treble crochet into the very last stitch, ready to turn. And I will meet you back here for row 4. Okay, our first row of cross stitches is completed. Treble crochet to finish. Now I'm going to chain 1. Now this row, it is really important that it's worked loosely. If you're worried, you could always go up a crochet to the next size up crochet hook, just for this row. We're going to chain 1 and slip stitch very loosely into the top of the treble, and then slip stitch through each treble across very loosely. You're going to want to work back into these slip stitches, so you do not want them to be tight. Slip stitching into that chain 1 space as well, and very loosely into each triple treble across the row. So just a row of slip stitches. Okay, slip stitch all the way to the end, finishing with a slip stitch into the 5th loop of the turning chain. I will meet you back here for row 5. We have finished that row of slip stitch. This is all about getting those triple trebles to sit nice and straight and properly. I've done a chain of 2 to turn. Now we're going to work a half double crochet in the front loop only of each stitch across. So skipping the back, front loop only, half double crochet into each stitch across. So you can see that would be straight through my stitch. I'm leaving the back and just working through that front loop. A half double crochet in each and every stitch all the way across, so you will have a nice little line sitting underneath your work. Nice and easy. Remember, you're working into the stitches done in the last row, which were the slip stitches. They're not easily visible, and you might need to tip your work a little bit to see that front loop if you can't. Okay, I'll let you guys finish up that row and I will meet you back here for row 6. Okay, we've done that row of half double crochet in the front loop only of those slip stitches. Moving on to row 6, we're chaining 1 and then we're going to work in the middle loop again. So we're not working through the top, working through that middle loop with a single crochet into each half double crochet from the previous row. So through that middle loop, you can see there's the top of our stitch, front and back, and that middle loop is what we're pulling up, working our single crochet into. So nice easy single crochet into the middle loop of each and every half double. I'll meet you back here for row 7. All right, back to row 7. So this is where we kind of repeat, do our next row of cross stitches, a little bit differently this time. Starting with a chain of 5, I'm going to work a treble crochet into each of the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. From there, we chain 1 and we repeat this stitch sequence for the remainder of the row. We're going to skip 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and work a triple treble into our 7th. Going to work 4 of them as we did on the previous row. That's 2, 3, 4, 4. Now this is where things get a little bit different. We're going to chain 1 again, and we're going to work our triple trebles into the middle 4. So we skipped 6 stitches, so we're going to miss the first one, work into the 4. But rather than going in front of our work, we're going to work these behind the ones we've just worked. So 2, 3, 4, yarn over 4 times. We're going behind those cables, so it can be easier to just pull them forward. And we're working into the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th skipped stitch with a triple treble into each. 3, 4. Oops. Our second one. Third. Fourth. Okay, so they worked behind the first set. From there, we're going to chain 1, and you would skip 6 and repeat. Now, as you reach the end of the row, you're going to treble crochet into each of the last 5 stitches before turning. So being that I'm only doing a repeat of 21, I am at that point already. I won't do another repeat of them. So skipping 1 and then working a treble crochet into the last 5 stitches of the row. I'll let you guys finish your repeats and work those last 5 treble crochet, and I will meet you back here for row number 8. Okay, we're ready for row 8. Now, as we did after our first set of triple trebles, we're going to be working this row very loosely, so if you need to change up to the next size crochet hook just for this row, do that now. We're going to be working a slip stitch through each stitch across very loosely, because we're going to be working into those slip stitches on the previous row. So you don't want them tight, working one into the chain or into the chain space if your chain's tight. So a slip stitch in every stitch all the way across, finishing with a slip stitch into the 5th loop of our starting chain 5, and I'll meet you back here for row 9. Finished our row of slip stitches, and we're ready for row 9, which will be the final row for this pattern. We'll be repeating rows 2 to 9 to reach our desired size if you want to keep going. I've done a chain 2. Now for this row, we're working into the slip stitches that we've just done. Front loop only, as we did previously. So if you can't see your slip stitch, remember just turn a little bit. But the front loop only of each slip stitch. There we go, front loop only with a half double crochet into each stitch. Remembering front loop only, half double crochet. You can see those slip stitches giving another gorgeous textured chain across. Repeat that as many times as you like. It's a little bit wonky where those triple trebles are pulling if you've done them tightly or pulled them at all, but that will easily straighten out with an edge. I hope you've enjoyed hooking up this beautiful stitch as much as I have. Until next time, have a fantastic day and happy hooking.